What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Quebec's Bill 21, and I have a very special guest. Everybody put your hands together for Lev Martyr. Why, thanks for having me, Mason. It's a pleasure. There's several reasons why Bill 21 is an issue. First, we have to examine what secularism means in the context of Canadian law. Wait, doesn't secularism just refer to the separation of church and state? Mason, you need to pay more attention in class. Like I said in my April 1st lecture, different states take different approaches to secularism. In Italy, for example, holding a position of secularism is equal to a religious conviction. So how does Canada understand secularism? The best way to understand this is to start with the Charter. In his essay, The Political Purpose of the Charter, Russell gives us a hint. He talks about how freedom from theocratic enforcement is an essential feature of a liberal democracy. This is expressed both explicitly and implicitly in the Charter, as well as the constitutions of other liberal democracies around the world. We see how this plays out in early Charter cases. In his essay, The Liberal Lie of the Charter, Hutchinson gives us the example of Big M Drug Mart, one of the seminal cases in Canadian religious freedom law. In Big M Drug Mart, the Supreme Court struck down the Lord's Day Act, a law that forced shops to close on Sundays because of the Christian holiday. Now, they found that this imposed Christian norms on people that certainly weren't Christian. So would it be fair to say that Canada's approach to secularism is refraining from imposing religious norms on other people? Mason, you're right for once. I would add, however, that this also includes preferring one religion over another, because that amounts to an endorsement of one religion's domination. Okay, so with the Big M Drug Mart example, if a firm wanted to close on a Sunday for religious reasons, would that be infringing on the religious freedom of its customers? Not at all. A private firm may do what they wish. In fact, forcing them to stay open would actually violate their religious rights. So if you apply that to Bill 21, refusing to let public servants wear religious symbols is the same thing, no? It's not that simple. Bill 21 is limited to public servants. Consider, for instance, if those buildings were government buildings, like post offices, that wanted to close. This makes a difference because a public-private dichotomy exists in Canada. In A Liberal Theory of Minority Rights by Will Kimlicka, a former colleague of mine, he explains how the Charter positions the individual as a supreme bearer of rights, against which the state cannot infringe. Hutchinson explains how this has guided early Charter jurisprudence. In cases like Dolphin Delivery Canada, the court emphasized the existence of a public and private sphere. The Charter does not apply to the latter. If a government building closed on a religious holiday, I could see how that would constrain other people to the norms of that religion. But if an employee of that building wanted to take a day off for religious reasons or wear a headscarf to work, I don't really see how that applies. Very good, Mason. That's an excellent point as to why Bill 21 doesn't really get secularism right as it exists in Canada. Now, here's where we start to get into freedom of expression. In Freedom of Speech, Berendt mentions Mill's theory on how free expression is key to self-fulfillment. In Canada, we protect this with Section 2B of the Charter. In our March 16th lecture, we went over the test to check whether 2B is being infringed. It goes as follows. First, does the activity in question have expressive content? I'd say so. Does the method of expression remove this protection? Say, is it violent? No, definitely not. Is the government infringing upon that protection? Absolutely. So there we have it. Freedom of expression is definitely offended by this. I'd like to add, however, that Bill 21 doesn't only threaten broad freedom of expression, but it also threatens substantive equality. And I suppose you've got a test for that as well? You bet. In our March 21st lecture, we went over the Egan test. It asks, is anybody being treated like a second-class citizen? Well, I don't know. Are they? Absolutely. Public servants who like to express their religious faith to the fullest extent are not entitled to the same rights of expression as their colleagues who aren't religious. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for having me.